Good morning, everybody. Generator Coaching, Terry Wager, Christine McGinley. We are here running a little behind. We have been so busy getting things done. And what we're talking about today is actually productivity and the idea of, are you just managing your time or are you getting things done the way you want to? And so managing time or being productive, because they are different. We actually have a productivity tool that we share with our clients and share with people whenever they find themselves in a situation where they are trying to manage their time better. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
About the tool, or like why we invented the tool? I'm going to tell you about why we invented the tool.
That's what I would think.
It's because there's so many things as entrepreneurs, business professionals that we want to be doing in our business, but we know we should be doing them, or we think we should be doing them, but we just don't find the time to do it. Or where is it really a priority? To where, we teach where are we closest to the money? Yeah, we could spend time doing Facebook ads and figuring out copy and that is an important piece of our business, but how much of that is really going to move us forward and is the idea of what's closest to the money. And so as a partnership, it's even more important that we understand what our priorities are for the week. And so that's kind of where this tool came from is, so many times we forget what our main goal is. And our main goal is what do we want it to look like at the end of the year? And so break that down into 12 pieces, 12 manageable months, and then into weeks. What can we do this week as our highest priority to get what we want done to move our company forward at the end of the month? What numbers do we need to hit and all that sort of thing? So that's kind of where the productivity tool came from is, and as one of our coaches says, the less I have to think, the more I can get done. So that's what it's designed, is to help you identify what your priorities are and then be able to take action on them like this and just set yourself up for the beginning of the week. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. And so one of the funny things is when she first started bringing this tool into existence the way it is, I used to make these massive lists of stuff I want to get done because I can't remember anything after I think of it. And so I just put it all down and she'd be like, this is too much stuff. And it's all stuff that could be done but doesn't need to be. And so she started organizing it into much more understandable, actionable items. And so she started taking my mess and really organizing it. And so that's one of the places that I think came from, but it's really helped us all, it's really helped us to become much more focused on what's a time suck, or what's going to actually move us to that next amount of money that we want to make. And when we're talking about numbers, by the way, we are actually talking about making money, and our numbers result in creating revenue for our company, because that's what our company is all about. And the bottom line is every company out there, their number one job is to make money. If it wasn't, then...
Well, I mean, we're not just all about the money. We're about making people grow their businesses. And that's how we make money, is by them growing their businesses.
Right.
So that's really what it is. But we're not, it's not just a hobby for us. We're in it to have our dreams come true, to, be able to go on vacation when it's time to go on vacation, to be able to put money into the pool, to be able to have nice dinners, right, and all of that sort of thing.
And what I'm saying is the business's job is to make money. Our job is to help other businesses make money and grow. And so there's a difference between the two. And so our business is helping other businesses.
Coaching companies that just want to make money.
That's true.
Anyway, we've been with our clients this morning, and we got reminded that figuring out what your priorities are for the week are really important, which is why we're wanting to explore this tool with you. And so Terry has it on the scroll, but it's basically generatorpromax.com is our giveaway to you. If you haven't picked it up, I highly suggest it, because it's awesome. You can put in your I'm just going to tell you about it.
Well, before she does, really, this is the beginning of it, what it looks like. And what we talk about is getting on the bullet train of action. This is really going to help you start moving forward fast when you start just focusing on your priorities. And take it away.
Okay, so what are your goals for the year? Do you know them? How often are you looking at them? Is it something that you're reminded of yourself when you wake up, when you plan your week? How living in you are they? Because it's important to know what you're wanting at the end of the year. Like where are you driving yourself to? What is that goal? What are those top 3 ideas that you want? And what's the biggest thing you can do to have the movement for yourself in this month? You know what it is, and if you don't, it's okay. It's the beginning. It's the middle of the month. You can take action now. It's so important to take the action. So figure out, what are your top 3 priorities for the week. I'm pausing so you can write them down and think about them.
Yeah, write this down.
Is it getting on the phone? And how long does a phone conversation really last for you? If it's a discovery call, if it's a cold call, what's the intention when you pick up the phone? Is it to make an offer? Is it to lead them to another conversation? Is it market research? Know what your intention is. And then Terry wrote me a note, so I'm going to look at it. So what is it? Identify it. Okay, now take 1 week. It's Monday. You can plan out the rest of your week by knowing what those 3 top priorities are. What's it going to be? How can you find time during your week to block in a 15-minute chunk of that aspect? Is that an email sequence? Can you write it in 15 minutes? Or is writing an email sequence a 20-minute an hour project? What can you do every 15 minutes to get that project done? So that's really kind of where this tool takes you. So you come up with your 3 top priorities for the week. And then we give you, how do you break that down into 15 minutes? We like to use it in Google, but we do brainstorm on these sheets. And then you've got to schedule it. The scheduling piece is so important than the to-do list. To-do lists just sit there.
Yeah.
Don't they? And maybe you check it off, maybe you don't. But when it shows up on your schedule or in Google, you get an alert 5 minutes before you're supposed to be doing it. That tells you to wrap up what's going on and how to get to the next. How can you come to a closure? What does that look like so you can start into the next project? And you don't have to think, oh, what am I going to do next? It says right there in your schedule what you're going to do next. Isn't that an amazing thing to do? So you're not wasting time. You're strategizing at the beginning of the week to maximize what you can get done during the week.
Right. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And we've given you the tool to be able to execute smoothly, quickly through your week so you get more done at the end of the week. And yeah, everything's not always going to get done, but there's buffers in there to fill those tasks in.
Right. And the biggest piece for me when we're starting to look at the calendar and scheduling that time is it's not up to possibility anymore or up to chance anymore. It's really, I put this on the calendar. I'm committing to myself to follow my calendar. And now there are things that come up. We usually go at 10:10 instead of 11:30. But today we had a client that had to jump in, and so we have to shift. And so flexibility is okay. But again, we get back on track, we move back to our calendar, and then we fulfill that calendar. And then the thing that we were supposed to do, we put in a gap that was missing because we do have those buffer areas. And so it's about flexibility, not throwing it all away and then it didn't work out, or not just letting things fall through the cracks. It's really moving things to another position that will work in your schedule.
Well, and I love, Terry, how you talked about as a bumper space. I think we should really adopt that it's bumper space. It's not white space. It's not undefined. It's saying we have this little spot is for our overflow. It's an intentional spot in our schedule that's going to be filling in where we weren't able to get something done. And I think going back and doing a class about this is going to be really good for everybody to carve out time together to make sure it happens, because that's where we're going to move our business forward. And that's where our business moved forward, and our clients. I mean, that's the big thing that they come to us for is I get overwhelmed. I find myself procrastinating. I have these gaps. And I know when we're blocking out your schedule is another thing we can talk about, but really blocking in when we're going to be intentional with our time, we get more done. Instead of, oh, what's next? It's right there in front of us, and we know the next steps to take. So
yeah, and the reality with what she's saying is when we're sitting there trying to decide what's next, we waste a lot of time. And then usually what next is comes another cup of coffee or a glass of water or maybe an early lunch when it's up to just what's next. But when we have it on the calendar, it's okay, what's next on the calendar? And then we move to it.
It's a commitment. Just like if you had a commitment to a client at 3:00, you now have a commitment to writing that email.
Exactly. And one of the things that we also commit to is we actually don't necessarily do all of our email and things like that. We have people that do that for us, and then we'll spend time reading over what was done to make sure that it's on target. And so our time that takes to do that type of thing goes down a lot. And so we're diversifying and what's the word? Delegating some of that work out to people who have more time because that's what they do and they're good at. And then we just make sure that it works for us, and it just creates a flow in everything. And so we become more and more productive as we go. But it's really, when we boil it down, when we start being intentional about our productivity instead of trying to manage time, we start to have much more productivity because life goes where you focus. And when we're focusing on productivity, we get more done. When we're focusing on trying to manage time, we start to juggle things.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, we want you to get on the bullet train. That's why Terry showed you the bullet train earlier. It's the bullet train of action. It's that smooth path. You know which way you're going. And, there might be some curves in the road, but you're back on track. It's not, hey, we're going to go do something random. And, that happens. But the more intentional you are about your day, the more you're going to get done. And doesn't that sound great? Get those should-haves done. Manage yourself versus your time. That's really what it comes down to.
Yep. So this is Terry Wager, Christine McGinley, Generator Coaching. We hope this has helped, and we got a little something for you on the end.